Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Diary of a Property Pro. We're going to cover off, is fake it till you make it a thing? Should you use it? We're also going to cover off the BS that's out there in social media, from LinkedIn liars all the way through to the JD Sports crashing deal sourcings that look like they're selling you naughty stuff of the devil's dandruff and everything in between. And look, if you're out there and you've got nothing but a dream, where to start, how to do it with a mentor and without. So without further ado, let's dive right in.
But I think it's like £1 in it to go to it, so just to get people in. Then it must be like a sell-on thing.
Mm-hmm. But the one I seen was like, he obviously spent a bit of time and effort putting it together. It was something like, how to buy property with zero money, step by step. His channel's got 450,000 subscribers, and it was released 3 months ago and only 22,000 views. So clearly not that much an uptake from his audience, with as much as you can read into that, because obviously it's difficult. It's difficult to tell, but you would think that if the majority of his subscribers are people that are interested in getting property, that would be a good video to watch. But didn't seem to marry up with the views. Yeah. There's a couple of guys in terms of, do you know what they look like? They look like guys at Punt Gear. You know, standing with the fucking...
Is it the Fontaine Brothers or something like that? You seen them?
I've seen them. I'm like, what? Like, they literally like...
Trackies?
Trackies. They look like they went through the window of JD Sports. They're probably up market now. They're probably in flannels, but still in the sports gear.
Yeah.
And it's all about this sort of... like, it's just about packaging up these very low money in for investors, and it's like it's all rent to rent. It's not even people buying properties. It's like, well, we can secure you a rental property, but it's got so far out to sea that it's not even like we can secure you something that you can buy.
Yeah,
it's we can secure you something that you can rent, and then you put some money into it, and then when you put that like 8-10 grand into it, then you rent it. And then we'll charge you a fee, and we'll charge you a fee to buy, to purchase that deal. But when I say purchase a deal, you're purchasing a rental agreement.
Yeah. What happens with the license and all that stuff? Like, see, if the license comes into effect for short-term lets down south, and you've got a rent to rent.
Well, I mean,
you can't get the license. You're in an agreement for 5 years with somebody.
That's one of the things that could happen. But before you even get there, I mean, this is the things that you find when you actually have run a portfolio. It's like, well, who's responsible for the larger repairs? So like a roof needs done, windows need replaced, the heating system needs replaced. You get, say you're in a flat and the flat needs overhauled, and some of these repairs are tens of thousands of pounds. You go and get a slate roof done on a property, it can be 30 grand. So you've bought this deal.
That's about 3 years of your profit.
But then where does it lie? Like, the landlord will say to you, like, if I was the landlord and I was wanting to do that, I would be wanting to put all the responsibility onto, right, if you want this and you're taking it as your own, then you're taking the whole thing. Like, so you're taking care of the upkeep. Yeah. But then what happens if you get, like, imagine it's you, right? So you're the person that's doing the rent to rent. The idea is that you take the rent to rent agreement. I'm the landlord. I say, right, Smyth, I'll give you the property, pay me £1,000 a month. You can refurbish it, you can do whatever you like to it. And say I've got it as a traditional rental property, for instance, and the stuff that I see is a lot of HMOs. They seem to be driving really hard for that. So HMOs, and it's like, well, you need to do some changes to the property to do a HMO. Yeah. So just things like incandescent strips in the doors where they're fire sealed. There needs to be a fire plan. A fire officer needs to come do it. You need emergency lighting. Yeah. You need a door that you can escape from the inside that doesn't require a key, so all the doors need to be thumb turned. You need fire escapability from all the windows if it's on the ground floor. Fire blankets in kitchens. There's a whole suite of things that you need to do, and they're pushing for this. But what I mean is that if you get, say for instance, a residential property that you want to turn into HMO, you might be changing the layout and certainly the electrics and certainly some parameters of that property. So me as a landlord, I want it back not as a HMO, I want it back as a rental. Yeah. So there's that, like, who covers the cost of
Covers
that? Are you
all
going to
that.
put that back in? And it's none of this, like, is it properly insured? So do you insure it or do I insure it?
Yeah.
Well, if you insure it, then there's an insurance claim, then the adjuster comes out and says to you, like, what's your financial interest in it? Like, so there's all these sorts of things like, you know, council tax. Council come to you, like, you due as a council tax. Well, no, it's to this guy and a rent to rent. And it's like all this stuff, you know, so you've got insurance, council tax, you've got, like, your, say the property's mortgaged. So, like, a lot of people won't look at that as like, well, if I'm paying the mortgage, and that's fine. But a lot of people, if you've got a buy-to-let property, you've got a buy-to-let mortgage. And the conditions of your buy-to-let mortgages is you're renting it out in a short-term tenancy agreement or a PRT or whatever the particular is in your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Here in Scotland, it's a PRT. So what if your lender, like, you say you come to renew your mortgage and the lender says, right, let me see your last 12 months, like your 12 months paperwork,
yeah,
to make sure that it's going to get enough rental coverage to work out the mortgage.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I've got this sort of weird deal with a guy that I don't really rent it out to, but is a rental agreement, but he's not really the occupier. And
yeah, so
I mean,
they only tell you the basics basically online. All these people that are trying to sell these rent to rent deals, so they'll go like, this is what you can do, this is a rent to rent model, these are the numbers that you can hit, but they're not actually digging deep into all the other fundamentals of what needs done. Right, if you get the property and you need to hand it back to the landlord, you need to get it back to obviously the norm of a normal rental. It's just the same as other people that are taking investors on as well. They're telling them the small parts of investing, of like buy to let, but they're not getting to like, this is what can happen as well. So there's a lot of kind of things in there that people are not obviously telling them. They're just showing them the overview of it.
I mean, it's like this, you know, I always go back to the 4 players.
Yeah.
So the 4 players is somebody with no knowledge and no money, player 1.
Mm-hmm.
Player 2 is, I've got knowledge and no money, so I know what to do, but I've not got any cash.
Mm-hmm.
Player 3 is, I've got cash, but I've no knowledge. So like, I've got money, but I don't really know where to put it. And player 4 is, well, I've got the knowledge and I've got money.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's striving to be player 4. But to be player 4, you need to have bought, you know, have the money to buy the properties, have the knowledge to run the properties, and that gains you wisdom on all the different, like, combinations on how to do it. Even today, I was speaking to someone that you would classify as a player 4.
Yeah.
And they've called me and asked me what I think, and I says, well, why don't you try this? And they've said to me, like, I'd have never even thought of that. That, you know, it's really, really clever.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they were like,
don't know,
you are the man. And I'm like, well, I was like, well, it's nice for you to say that, but this is like some of the things that I've done over the years.
What was it?
Can't tell you, it's top secret. I'll tell you off air.
Right, okay.
We'll not be giving away the secrets on a podcast.
Even an overview of it like everybody else does.
it was to give you a taster. It was there was going to be a delay in the purchase,
right,
due to how it was financed, and the seller was looking to move it quickly because they are looking to buy on. The seller has some money that they need out of the property. They've asked for top money, which would fine if you were financing it. And I suggested a way of getting that property for much less, using the situation in terms of the time horizon to turn that situation into an advantage, that you might be able to get a discount off the seller if you're in a position to move in it, finance it a different way, or funding it in cash. So suggested how to do it. I was like, man, that's clever.
brilliant.
He's like, that's really, really clever. And I says, well,
This is a guy that knows what he's doing.
this is a player 4.
Yeah.
This is someone in the game,
What are you,
been in it in years.
in?
We need to come up with another one. Just an advanced player 4, maybe player 5.
Oh.
You know, I am the code writer.
Aye.
I made the game.
Brilliant.
So I said to us, like, this is what to do. He's like, that's genius. And I says, well, look, I've had situations where it's worked, and you know, you can give someone the option.
Yep.
And if they take your other option, then you could be 30% up before you even kick a ball. So that's genius. I would have never thought of that. And I said, well, that's how.
Brilliant.
That's why you phoned the right guy.
Aye. Phone me for a player 6
it's
information.
these things where, like, you look at these guys that are out there. I mean, the clip that people send me this stuff all the time to comment on, and I just let it slide because it's like back in the day when you were plastering, Like if somebody sent you 20 videos of somebody plastering, you'd be like, look, like I don't need to see any of this. Like I know what I'm doing. Like I've been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt. I have forgotten more about what these videos have got in them than they'll ever know. Right, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, no condescending nature at all. But like in reality, you don't need to see somebody doing something. You've like earned your stripes and earned the earned your time. You've got your time. You've got the wing. You know your wings on your shoulder, and you're good to go. So I don't really pay attention to a lot of them, but there's just the odd one that I'll be like, phew. And it's like again, some of the things that they do is like these guys are presenting themselves as essentially they're trying to make out that they're player fours, and in reality they're being very charitable to player twos, because they're projecting that they have knowledge and they can take some money off you with you using their knowledge essentially. So the deal is, right, you know what to, a player three who doesn't know what to do would buddy up with a player two who knows what to do, and so one side has money, another side has knowledge. They come together and have an agreement, or some blue. Sort. They have what? Red blue. Yep, exactly. The red blue, so they match up. Yeah, they match up with each other because they can now move forward with a plan. And that, in essence, in simple terms, is really good if player two genuinely has the knowledge. Yeah. But player three has that little knowledge, they can't quite work out how advanced a player two it is. Yeah. Because they have so little knowledge, they don't really know how to check. And this is where you have this huge disparity of when you go and like somebody will say something to me like, what do you think of this? And I'll be like, well, what about this part? What about this part? And they're like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, well, these are all the things that are going to happen. Like, how do you know that? Well, because I've done all of them. Yeah. And it's that understanding of the whole picture that really separates them out. Now, it's not to beat up. I think player twos are an important part of the game. Yeah. Really, really important. It's a great place. It's a people who have no money that want to get to a place where they can start making really life-changing money. That's the place that they should do it. They should do it as a player two, but there is all player twos are not created equal. Yeah. There is some player twos that are at the absolute pinnacle of the game, and there is player twos that are kidding on that they're player twos, and they're leading player threes, astray. So
you see it all the time. Like you've got to start somewhere, right? You've got to start somewhere. So we're not on here dissing. Maybe you are a wee bit, but you've got to start somewhere.
No, I'll clear that up. I'm not dissing somebody starting out, and I'm not dissing somebody that you're beginning.
Bullshitting.
But what I have a problem with is if you're claiming that you know way more than you actually do, and you're putting other people's money on the line based on your bullshit. That's what I have a problem with. Yep. I think there's a certain degree of like, look, I'm starting out. This is what I've seen. I'm being transparent and I'm being honest. I'm all for that. Yes. Where I draw the line is, hey, look, I'm the big swinging dick. I don't even need to get ready, but I can just wear my JD sports gear. I'm the biggest deal. I've got this amazing WhatsApp group, and we're just doing deals, and we know everything about everything. And all you need to do is give me your money, and I'm going to tell you where to put it. Yeah. I think there's a dangerous territory in there with that. Yeah, I mean, like as you said, like you've got to start somewhere, but like, across all these platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn's probably the worst for it. Don't get me started on LinkedIn.
You know straight away if somebody's just started out, because you go onto your Instagram and you see a sponsored ad just popping up. We buy houses Scotland, we buy houses Renfrewshire, we buy houses Glasgow. It's always a new one that comes, and you know exactly where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. So you know these guys are just starting out, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to get investors on board and take their money for actually having the investment for them, or having the knowledge to find the investment for them. So that's a big problem, I think. And as I says, like, you've got to start somewhere. So what would you say, like, the best thing for them to do, obviously, without actually bullshitting their way through it?
There's two ways of doing it. I mean, like, there's a way that if I was going back, I'll give you the option. If I had a mentor that was going to take me under their wing versus if I didn't have a mentor, right? So we'll start with the mentor one. So when I did it with you, it was like, let's see where your knowledge is. And what it was like, do you know, remember we were playing football and you would do training and you would run drills. You would be like, right, I don't really know why we're doing this, but you would be drilling it into you that you would then, when it came game time,
Yeah.
you would just automatically respond based on those drills. When we were running drills with you, it was like, right, look, get me these properties, I will be your investor. Go and find me these amount of properties and pitch me them. Give me 10 properties and pitch them to me. And then I would critique what you've brought to me. And that way you're getting instant feedback based on what it is that you do. And what happens when you have a mentor is that you can get someone that goes, right, look, here's where these ones don't work. Like here's what's good, right? So these bits are good. So when you keep looking for these bits are diabolical, right? And you really need, here's why you should stay away from them. And it's that fine tuning process that can rapidly get you through that knowledge gap. So the gap between where your knowledge is and where it needs to be, you can rapidly close that down. Right. Now, if you don't have a mentor, that can be hard, right? But one of the quickest ways of doing it is by actually going through, just take your street, right? Take the house that you grew up in or a house that you've stayed in and just look at the history of the street. So you can get the for sale information for the stuff of what it sells for today. And you can look back and what it used to sell for. And you can get all the past data, and you want to become an expert on, right, what happened with the properties in your street. Right. And then what you can do is you're starting to develop a mental picture. Well, in 2000, prices were this and rent was that. Prices went in 2005, prices were this and that. And then the market had a lift, prices went up to this, rent was this. Right. And then do a template where you're working out, right, when would have been the best time to buy these if I bought them in 2004 versus 2007? Like, what would I have done if 2007, if I'd bought this in 2004, for instance? And then what you're doing is you're building a timeline in your mind of that sequence of events that happened within that street. And then you build this template of how you would have played the game had you owned the property. Right, I buy the property in 2000, would have sold it in 04, would have sold it in 05, would have sold it in 06. And then you look at what's going on, and then you look at what changed, why it changed, then you run this timeline through your mind. And that would be a way of going, oh, I can spot why people made a mistake then, or that was the right time to sell. What could I have seen then would have let me know that? And you have this framework that starts to form in your mind that you go, I see what happens now. You can take the street and you can move to your local area, and then you can start to look at your town, because when you look at your town, you're going to have low-end properties, high-end properties, one-bedroom properties, 5-bedroom properties, and everything in between, flats, houses, bungalows, and so on. And then you, because you know what to do, you can pick, right, where's the area that has all the bungalows? What's that street? Because there's usually a street that has bungalows in them. That's what house builders do. They go like, right, look, we're going to make this, the area that people that are retiring will buy these. It's all one level. It looks good. They have a big floor area. So they're really easy to spot. And you start to then develop your knowledge like that. Now, adamantly, that's a much longer process to cover the knowledge gap, because you're not getting instant feedback from the mentor. But if you have a mentor, they can be like, hey, it's like playing tennis. You hit a serve, it gets hit back at you.
I was that person at the start before I obviously had the mentor. I was trying to bullshit my way through being a property expert. Daft posts on LinkedIn. I've got space for another couple of investors. Is anybody interested? All this pish that I used to write back in the day, many years ago. So see, when I see that happening now, and I'm going, when I see people posting stuff like that, I'm like, you're bullshitting. You're just bullshitting your way through, try to be the big expert. And then you just want to grab them and say, like, fucking get a mentor. And if you probably will be able to bullshit your way through this, but it's going to take you a long time to get there. Some daft arse investor who doesn't know anything about property will probably give you money for a sourcing fee, and you'll go out and get a property off Rightmove or whatever. That'll probably happen a couple of times, but it'll take you a long, long time to get to where you want to be. If you want to speed your way through being that expert, pay the fucking money and get a good mentor and get somebody to teach you who's walk to walk, talk to talk. They can do everything, you know what I mean? And that's what I done. Being from that wee guy that just came out of the construction industry and wanted to get into property, done a couple of courses, came out, tried to bullshit my way through to getting investors on board, didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing, to getting that mentorship for the 6 to 12 months that I done it, and that just catapulted me right through to what I'm doing now, and it's just snowballed on to being very good at what we do, knowledgeable, and getting a lot of investors on board.
But think back then, I remember, like, I don't know if you remember it the same way, but I remember that it was like there was two opposing forces going on. And I remember it very much being that your mindset was, right, look, these people are out there hungry with cash. You need to just know this, and they will give you the cash. You will be loaded. You will be making loads of money, and then you can buy your own portfolio. Like, that's the big dream. There was two opposing forces, because you had this idea that it was a case of, right, it's really simple. You're going to get a portfolio really quickly. Right, you need to source to build up the capital. You build the capital, you buy the portfolio.
Great. You feel great seeing you hear all that, man. You go to these courses and you're like, fucking, I'm going to be a massive property expert in 3 weeks.
What does it feel like?
You just come out of that. You come out of these places, and even just looking at stuff online, man, you get a good buzz about it. Like, I'm going to be a millionaire in 6 weeks. No, it's not reality. Definitely isn't. I
remember you came and asked me before you went to these events. And you were like, can you show me what to do? And I obviously didn't tell you what you wanted to hear, because you ended up in an event and you were like, basically like, I'm amazing. This is it. This is big time.
Because I refurbed a couple of houses. I thought it was fucking the man.
Oh shit, here we go. Another fucking lamb to the slaughter.
The thing is, right, like, people are not wanting to invest in themselves either. I think they think everything just comes to them. So all these kind of young people or even older people are still trying to get into going to the course and stuff. I think they can just spend £2,000 or £3,000 and that's them. They're fully qualified property investors, and they're on fucking LinkedIn talking absolute shite. Like I used to do. So
I spoke to Thor, and Thor's big on LinkedIn. Like, he loves LinkedIn, and I was like, but it's just a fucking horde then to me of pathological fucking fantasyland bullshitters. Just, I would like to announce that I am fucking great, and that it's like an echo chamber for just nonsense. I'm sure
business
I've got a jaded view, right? I'm sure I have a jaded view, and I'm sure that LinkedIn has an amazing power, right? But see the stuff that I get sent, it's exhausting even looking at it.
It's when people send you a fucking message and they follow up with another 5 messages after it saying, "Oh, did you miss that last message?" Like, no. I fucking don't want to speak to you.
Yeah. It's that sense. I don't think it's that sense of entitlement. Like, why are you not wanting to talk to me? Yeah. It's like, because I have better things to do. Like, I am not going to give you my time because you think that I should give you my time.
Yeah.
Like, you've done nothing to earn my time. You've done nothing to say, hey, look, take the time out of your busy schedule because I've fucking found you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just hit a few buzzwords, and that's going to make it all, it's going to unlock the secrets. But I think that's what you were told. Like, that's what you were told.
If I message somebody and they don't fucking answer, I'm not going to message them another 4 times asking why they never answered the first message. Like, get the fucking gist it. We don't need you, or, you know what I mean? It's
in a domestic situation, that would be called like stalking.
It's crazy. You get them in emails as well all the time. I get that all the time. See, when you start kind of putting yourself out there and you're doing like ads and stuff like that, and your business is getting out there. And if you post on LinkedIn, like, people grab your email off LinkedIn and email you 3 or 4 times. Like, maybe I never got the wrong right person. Can you put me into the right person to speak to? Like, no, fuck off. Just stupid things. Digital marketers are the worst. People are working kind of in Asia and abroad and stuff like that. They just hound you for business, you know.
They've got a weird tone about them as well. Like, it's like someone said, this is what you need to say. And it's not, it's somewhere between rude and condescending. It's a weird dynamic. You just go like, I don't know if this is a cultural difference, but like, you're not going to get anybody responding to this.
You've obviously been in this longer than what I have. So, like, has it always been like this? Like, obviously we didn't have social media back years ago, but from when you can remember it, obviously I wasn't in the game at the time, was it always as bad as this? Like, all the bullshitters, all the people just try to fucking weasel their way through into getting business and getting investors, or was it more a better place for guys like yourself who are doing the things right?
Well, what I would say would be that the fake it till you make it's a thing, right? So faking it till you make it is imagining what it's going to be like when you're there, right? And you could say fake it till you make it is a really crude way of saying visualization. So if you visualize something, the power of visualization is that you visualize what it's going to be like when you get there. This is an extremely powerful tool. Many, many successful people have used that. Hands down, it's a powerful tool. Well,
is there a way of doing it right, but
yeah, 100%.
Is there a way of doing it wrong?
Well, like for instance, fake it till you make it is right. Like go out and tell people about what your visualization of the future is, and act like it's that now, right? But that is perfectly harmless, right? Other than you're maybe kidding yourself on. But if you're just going out and saying, look, this is what my life's like, this is what I'm going to be doing, this is a car I'm driving, so I'm going to be driving a 911 Turbo when you've got a Corsa outside, you're in a works van.
I used to have a Corsa.
Again, there's not like I don't think there's any issue with that. Like, see if somebody came up to me and says, look, if somebody came up to me and they're starting out and they says, look, I've got a Corsa, but one day I'm dreaming big, I want a 911 Turbo, right? I'm like, I like you.
I know that guy.
But see if I get someone that's like, hey, look, I drive a 911 Turbo and it's in the Porsche showroom until I pick it up and I'm in a Corsa. I'd be like, you're fucking deluded.
Yeah.
Tell me about your dream is one thing, but don't act to me like your dream is here when and I know that your dream isn't here yet. Like, I get it, but
just not cut out for some people, I think, as well. You see these people, like, no disrespect to them and who they are, but you just see people and you just say, mate, this isn't for you. This game is just not for you. You're never going to make it. And you can see it straight away. Well,
I think the difference between then and now is that back when I started out, fake it to make it was a thing still, but it wasn't as exaggerated as it is now. And I think the main part of that is that when you were in situations to fake it to make it, like today, people are posting on LinkedIn, social media, it's all digital, it's all Instagram, Facebook, that sort of stuff. Right, so it's easy to project this thing. You could argue it's just as easy to dismantle it, because if you look at actually their profile and what they do, like, it's easy to go, well, there's a mismatch between what you're projecting and what you're posting.
Yeah.
Right, so the digital world is a bit like that. So back then it was more difficult, because people had, if you were going to do that sort of blustering kind of fake it till you make it, you were doing that directly to someone, so you might not be quite as comfortable.
You're fucking talking shit.
And and you might get some tough questions, because in a digital space nobody's pinging a question right back at you. But if you're speaking to someone that's going, right, okay, right, show me your car keys then.
Yeah.
So they would be hesitant to go over the top on the fake it till you make it, but there'd be a limit, there'd be a check, a balance, like, hey, look, hey, measure it, you would but it seems that there's just no governor on this. You can go fucking mental.
Yeah. Sometimes you've got to blame the investor as well, but no, because even if it's online and somebody's trying to fake it till they make it with an investor, like, they've got to do their checks. Because a lot of people do it with me, like, they'll go into Trustpilot, see all the reviews, they'll go and check the business.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So if you're faking to make it, you just fucked a fucking.
But you got to remember, online. Like, see if somebody's like, we're all susceptible to this. Like, if somebody's charming the pants off you and telling you everything you need to hear,
you're like,
you can get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Like, and this is what I mean. Like, you went to these seminars, and they have fucking sold you the dream.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I am so ready for this. And like, if you checked and this is what I mean. Like, if you'd done your homework, you'd have probably went, I think there's maybe more to this, and it wouldn't have been that much homework to do. But it's not telling you what you want here. You're being told everything that you want, and you just get caught up in it. And you can see that.
I found a book in in one of my boxes when I was moving house not long ago, and it was for one of the events that I went to. And they give you this book, and then you write everyone down to what the person's telling you. Some of the stuff in it, I'll need to give you it down. It's fucking hilarious, man. You need to look back at that, I'm like, what was I doing, man? Like madness.
Well, I mean, we laugh. The one that we laugh about quite often was when I said to you, like, pitch me the deal. And you were like one of the things that you're quite good at is you are good at asking, like, what is it that you want me to do?
What's
like,
your thoughts?
I'm forever like, here's an instruction, and then I'm forever telling you what the fucking instruction's about.
It's not a bad thing.
So it's a good thing. It's a good thing because what you're doing is you're going, right, look, it's a bit like saying to someone, you know, we're going out for dinner, and like, so would you like to eat? Tell me, like, what do you like? This? Do you like that? Do you like fish, steak?
Yeah.
So it's good. But the thing that was that you were asking was like, right, here's what I do. I'm under the impression that you know how to pitch a deal because you've came to me and went, I'm fucking shit hot. I'm ready for this. Don't you know? I've done a 4-day course. I am the king shit of all king shits. I am in.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this guy's good to go. Like, he's ready to go. So I was like, right, pitch me a deal. And you're like, right, so what does pitching a deal like? Which was the fucking first red flag. I'm like, well, you should have this and it should have this. It's like, just make it simple. Just have that, you know, purchase price, deposit amount, how much is the rent, how much is the mortgage, work out the yield. You went, what's a yield? Oh no.
I can remember that day.
And like, and genuinely,
like that must have been like, obviously the start of the mentorship and stuff like that. That must have been like a red flag saying, like, this guy needs brought back a lot of levels to get started here, you know? Because I thought it was further on than what it actually was. You must have been saying to yourself, I need to get this guy back to fucking the start.
You ever watch the Wild West movies? This is what it was like, right?
Yep.
So in the Wild West movies, they've got horses that are attached to the cart. The cart's getting pulled along with the horse, right? Good setup. Right, well, you were the horse, but there was no cart attached to you, and you're about 30 miles down the road. I was like, hey, cowboy, get back here. You need to connect to this thing. Like, you think you've got a cart on you, you've got no cart, and it was like trying to get this horse back to where it needed to be to, you know, hook the cart on, because the cart's where you pick up the information.
Yeah, the tool bag. And
this is the thing, is like I was saying, look, you know, these guys are out there in some of the videos that we're speaking about, you know, they think making it is going into like the designer shop, look at my designer clothes, look at my designer trainers, I'm wearing a healthy bank account of clothes on me.
Fuck all in the bank.
Nothing in the bank, but it's all just, this is what you can do. Like, if you follow me, this is the life that you can live. And it's playing to the younger crowd, because the younger crowd are like, oh, he's got this label and that label, and oh, you know, and it's all the image, and they think, hey, look, I want that because I would love to have these things, which is understandable. So you see how they're playing to the heartstrings of, oh, you could be just like me. All you need to do is buy this course, and we're going to teach you to do this, and this. And it's like what we started off with. The reality is far different to what they're suggesting it is. But the catch is, hey, look, you go out and do this, we'll show you, you know, you're going to have this dream set up. Yeah. And I look at it and I'm like, this has got chaos.
What's some of the worst things you've heard, like on LinkedIn and stuff? You don't really go on it much, but you must have seen a few. I mean, crazy comments.
I don't know about property specific.
Calling out the bullshitters here, by the way.
I've heard some fucking shockers in terms of like businesses, like shockers. Like, you know, you go to, I mean, I don't watch Dragons Den because, again, it's like watching my work. My missus is like, oh, with the best will in the world, I don't know like why I'd want to watch this. Is because it's like a reality show of the real business world. Yeah. You know, and she's like, how can you work out the valuation so quickly? And I'm like, well, because there's a mathematical sum that you do that works out the valuations. And I'm like, she's like, I don't know how you work it out that quick. And I'm like, well, it's that by that. Like, take the percentage, you multiply it by what they're asking for. Like, take the percentage that they're asking for, multiply it by the amount, and now you've got, this is what I value my company at.
That's like Lorna trying to tell me how it works a washing machine. I fucking don't know.
This thing, I'm looking at it, it doesn't go on itself.
How's it? I've shut the door. How's this fucking thing not going?
I don't even get there. I just stare at the washing basket and I'm like, why is that not going? That thing goes down itself.
She does her part and I do my part, and that's fucking it.
It's a good partnership. So, like, it's good. What would we do without them?
Exactly.
The chaos.
Yeah.
But like some of the shockers in the business world is like I remember one. I mean, sky high valuation. It was something like 100 million quid. So it was right. You needed seed funding. So seed funding is, I need you to give me the initial money to start. So it's literally an idea, and it's an idea stage. And I'm showing drawings, and like, this is the model, and this is what it's going to do.
Not even purchased
100 million, and it was like for a tiny fraction of this company, and he's needing 100 grand. So like, you need 100 grand. You valued the company at 100 million, and you're giving me like a fraction of a percent. And have you tested it? No. Have you got a model of it? No. Have you had any sort of experiments in any of the parts? No. Do you have any of the parts in the supply chain? No. Like, what do you have? Like, well, if it works, it'll be worth this. Like,
what if it doesn't?
I was like crack on. It was like, good luck. I wish you all the best. But just that disconnect between reality in terms of it's got its roots in fake it till you make it, which is like, well, if all these things happen, it will be there in the future, and I'll give you a piece of the action of there in the future at the percentage then. But I've got none of those things now, and I still want your money.
Yeah, there's got to be an element of risk there as well, but for some stuff, stuff like things as big as that, like I don't think you could take the risk on.
It's like, I mean, I think it was, if I remember rightly, it was some magnetic charging unit that would be in the boot of a car, and what would happen would be the motion of the car or this magnetic charging device would be able to charge a battery, an electric vehicle, in an unlimited capacity. So there was some mechanism between this magnetic motor, if you like, that was being fueled only by magnets, would continually drive the electrical generator to charge the electric vehicle. And I was like, right, look, it's a great idea, but
you see it working
like,
first.
We don't even have like, I've rattled some pieces together in my garage, and here's like a really crude sort of idea of it. And like, the idea is like, if you seen something like that, you would be like, right, if you liked the person, they were like, look, I've got this fucking wild idea, right? I'm a bonkers scientist.
Yeah,
I've came up with this solution. I fancy having a go at it. Do you want to go half in? Like, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I need business smarts, acumen, contacts. I need to have the skill set that I don't have. I'm a mad creator.
Yeah.
Like, I'm prepared to like, hey, look, let's half in. You'd be like, right, they would be someone that you'd want to keep as far away from a business operations as possible, but they've got great energy and like that creative sort of, what can I solve in a technological or some sort of scientific way. So you don't want to interfere with that, but you also don't want to let them near the controls. But LinkedIn is sort of blended data roles where like, if you say this, and this, and they clearly don't know anything, because some of the stuff that they're saying, they're like as mad as a hatter. It's like you saying to them like, just as wacky scientific terms, and they're like, well, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Well, it's like vice versa here.
Property as well, isn't it? Like,
well, property is just like as I said, property is one of those things. It's an industry that
anybody can kid on there in it.
They've been pretty like it's simple, it's easy to learn, it's harder to master, but it's simple to get the basics, and it's something that, like you touched on it one of our previous podcasts, that people love the idea of being involved in property.
What's the name?
There's an allure to it.
They think property, massive house, Porsche, Lambo, Range Rover, money, holidays. That's great. You can't get there, but it's not fucking easy. Yeah. Because I've been down there before, and I'm up here now, but I've been there before, and to get from there to there, like, it didn't go like that. It was like boom, boom, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like we touched on earlier. It's the two paths, because the two paths are, if you can rapidly learn if you're prepared to go up a steep learning curve, but like you said, it's not for everyone. Like, going through that steep learning curve, like, sounds reasonably benign, but that steep learning curve is like an emotional roller coaster, and you need to have the hang tough where you're prepared to see it through.
I don't even think I'm there yet either. Like,
you never get there. You never stop
maybe
learning.
Look as if I'm there and I'm doing great. Like, I'm just scratching the surface. Like, I'm not fucking anywhere where I want to be. I want to grow the businesses well higher than what they are just now. Especially like the serviced accommodation side of things, like sitting probably close to 100 properties over the next couple of months, but that's going to, I think over the next 5 years we'll buy 500 properties. That's the goal. So as I said, we're scratching the surface on some of the businesses still. Obviously, yes, doing great, things are brilliant, but never kind of sit back and say, oh, I've made it, because you've not. You know, there's plenty more in the engine.
You want to work as hard as you did when you started with that same enthusiasm.
But you can get complacent.
You want to magnetise. You need to make that as part of you. Like, my day should look like it was the day that the hungriest day that I felt the most alive, that I was the most inspired to do something. You want to be like that every day. But you also want to be like, I'm the old master picking up wisdom. I'm the old master that's looking for the other places that he can learn from. 100%. When you combine those two, you have got it nailed.
It's hard. Must be hard for some people, but I'm very, very lucky that obviously I've partnered up with yourself and some stuff, because you've got the knowledge. If I've got stuck with anything, I've got you there. So it must be really, really hard for these people that are coming through and they're maybe just getting there, but they've got nobody to help them. You know.
The other thing that you've got is that, I mean, we go on always about the knowledge and we go on about the wisdom and the experience and stuff like that, but there's the characteristics of like how I was able to get there as fast. And it's that sort of characteristics that sort of people go, well, you know, it's not just someone with the knowledge, it's someone driven. Have they got the determination? Like, you know, have they got that about them? Whatever you want to call that, the X factor, the something that's like mystical and a bit of an edge and a bit of a, like, there's something magnetic about the way that you do it. And if we all have people that we look up to, and when I see people that you know, I've been inspired by, I think, wouldn't it be great if you could have some of their characteristics? And it's things like they're on the edge all the time. They're always pursuing something. Not just about
the hard work. Like, see, the worst saying I think is people come away, anybody can do it. See, if you put the work in, you'll get to where you. I think that's total bullshit, because you need to be the right person for that industry. Well, you need to be about yourself. You need to be well liked. You need to look good. You need to obviously put the work in as well. There's people out there that just haven't got that, I don't think.
You know, I mean, it would be boring if we were all the same. I mean, that's the thing is that, but you've got to.
Some people,
there's certainly things, like I think of things that I've done in the past, and there's things that I've thought I really like, I'm interested in that, and I've got involved in it, and got there and I thought, this isn't me.
Yeah.
Like I've looked at these things and went, I'm 100% behind that, and then thought, nah, it's not my cup of tea. Like, I'm just not suited to what this
isn't
is.
For everybody. Isn't like not dissing the 9-to-5 workers. Like, great, if that's what you want to do, that's for you. But coming out of that comfort zone just isn't for you.
You look at you look at a 9-to-5 worker. Businesses love people that want a 9-to-5 job, and people that want a 9-to-5 job love businesses, because businesses provide the 9-to-5 job.
It's comfortable,
and businesses can grow with people that want a 9-to-5 job. So it's a perfect unity, perfect harmony.
Yeah. So
it's needed, because that's like it's not about being the one man showstopper. It's about like, hey, look, sometimes you need to have different sort of players in your play. If you like, imagine it's a bit like a play, but a pantomime show. We need the different characters, because if you know, it'd be boring if it was just the same guy playing all the parts.
Aye, definitely. That was good. So just touching over what we've done and calling out all the bullshit stuff in the industry, all LinkedIn posts and stuff like that. People try to fake it till you make it. But obviously, you want to touch on a bit about what you're building in the background still, and how you can help these people and mentor them through these stages and get into the community, and touch on that and when it's kicking off. So like we spoke about, like if you're out there and you're looking for some free information, listen to the podcast, give us a follow. Yes.
We're putting out all the on the ground information for free. If you're looking to be part of something, we've got the property community, which you can be involved in. We've got the property community, which is a community of people that are interested in the same thing. And this thing that we're involved in is property. So it can be difficult if you've got someone that is, your friends or family might not understand your dream and your aspirations, but there is a community of people that are just like you looking to start out. And it's a really easy way to pick up really solid information really quickly. The property community is 2 tiers. So the 3 tiers. So there's a free tier where you can come in and have a look around. Not going to cost you anything. And you can have a look at all the free information that we put out there. You'll have all the podcasts that we've discussed this on. There's an entry tier for people that are, just starting out, maybe don't have a great deal of cash. And there's a higher tier for the more advanced sort of people that are looking for cutting edge information. They're looking for forecasting, and they're looking for the weekly community calls that we do. So that is there for people to belong to something, to be part of something. And it's for every level, whether you've got loads of money or you've got no money. And when you start to see the value of that, you can maybe work your way up the tiers. If you do find yourself want to become, if you're a player 1 and you want to move into a player 2 category, I've designed a property training course, which is their cutting edge information with a no BS, no fluff, no selling the dream, no leading you down the garden path. Here's the route to get to being a really good player 2. And a player 2 that a player 3 really needs. And then if you are a player 3 and you want to get up to speed and you want tuition, you want mentorship, that's available. You can visit the website for more information. And then if you are a player 4 looking to level up and you want someone like yourself who's at the cutting edge of where best to maximise profits, and you want to get someone that is going to find you the best place to put your money, they can get in touch, and you can, as I said, you can come through whether you're a player 1 or player 4. We've got all bases covered. If it's a case of you've got an existing portfolio that you want to be maximised, or you're looking to add to that portfolio and you want the best possible returns, then we've got you covered. So it's a one-stop shop for everybody that's out there, because I think we can both say this. At one point, we were both a player 1 with nothing but a dream.
Yes,
and
that's
then
the issue nowadays, isn't it? It's like you're like people are going to these courses and they're coming out of the course and they're maybe putting a group chat for 6 months in this course, and then they're going away and they're doing nothing with it. The good thing about what we're trying to build is keeping people in the community and learn them from step 1 to right up to the end. We want you to start there, but we want you to be here.
The difference with this property community and some of the ones that I've seen is it's not going to be an echo chamber for bullshit. So it's not going to be, what car did you buy? What deal did you do? How much you made this week? It's none of that. It's about gaining and rapidly moving through the levels to get towards your dream. It's not about listening to, I done this deal or I done that deal, or let's buddy up or let's JV, because we're all running about trying to place a deal somewhere. It's not about that. This is about you gaining knowledge from people that are living and breathing this and doing it day in, day out, where you can stand on the shoulders of giants and swallow up that knowledge so that you can get up to speed as quickly as possible. Yeah.
And if you get to that point, maybe we'll bring you on the podcast.
It'd be great.
If you can run a corner of a Lamborghini and you've made it, you can come on a podcast.
So it'd be good to hear a success story, because there'll be people out there. There's people out there, people listening to this right now that are ready. They just need the right stuff. That sense of
fulfillment, like what we're trying to build here and help people do and get to that point, like that's good for us as well. That will make us so happy. Well,
like people ask me that, why do you want to do it? And it's like, well, because first of all, I know what it was like, right? And the second thing is that I'm actually sick and tired of the BS that people are fed. I'm like, it's just beyond a joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see if that's the BS you want, cool, but don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't warn you. And then a case of, right, if you want some no BS, straight talking, here it is. Right? You're not going to be a millionaire in 7 days, right? You're not going to see by the end of the first year. It's highly unlikely, right? Not impossible, but it's highly unlikely you're going to have a six-figure income and a 7-figure portfolio. Highly unlikely. Right? But if you give this thing and nurture it the time, you're prepared to put in the work, you're prepared to do what it takes, you're prepared to soak up the knowledge, you can get there.
I, for one, can tell you that if you put the work in and you don't think this is going to happen 6 months to a year, like if you just put the work in and just keep going through it it will fucking work. It'll work because it's worked for me, and
it
it
does
didn't work.
work.
It didn't happen overnight for me. It didn't happen in a year, maybe 2-3 years. That's when I got to a point where I was making the 6-figure or whatever it was. Like, it's never ever going to happen inside 6 months to a year. If you think that, it's impossible.
I mean, it's, as I said, it's setting that. I mentioned this in the mindset coaching community, where if your mindset's in the wrong place, this is the right place to go and get it tuned up. And I warned about the dangers of this expectation. The thing that I really, really dislike about, like, as I said, I let most of the bullshit slide.
Yeah.
I have a real problem with you going out and setting the expectation to the youth, the people coming up, the people that are hungry, that have got a dream, and they're willing to just listen to whatever you tell them, and you set this ridiculous expectation, and then they fall short, and then they don't think they're worth it, and then they go, well, everybody else done it, and I couldn't do it, and I must be shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, right, enough's enough, right, because maybe if you set the right expectation, they might have got somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't have got anywhere. But don't BS expectation for clickbait, virality shite. Look, do the fucking decent thing. People will come to you and they'll follow you.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't just clickbait bullshit and make it up.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. So let's see if we can help them.
So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Diary of a Property Pro. We covered off the fake it till you make it. Should you use it or not? What to watch out for. The 4 players, not beating up on if you start out, but how to do it well. What to watch out for if you're an investor and you're looking to get involved in property and want to know what the right questions to ask. And also, if you do want to find a place where you can be a part of something, where you can feel that you belong, there's a place for you where you can pick up all that knowledge. Visit our website where you can see everything that we're up to and you can be along for the ride. We're not out there promoting that we're doing X, Y, and Z, that we're not. We're just guys getting after it on the ground, doing real stuff with real deals, real numbers. And we've got the humility to say, hey, look, we aren't doing a HMO on a sex shop and a Chinese that is making fucking a bazillion quid a month. And we're not telling you that we can make you a millionaire in 7 days through property. We're going to give you the cold hard truth, the no BS, straight talking on how to do it. You can follow our lead. Come along for the ride. It'll be in the show notes, the links in the bio, to find out how to get involved in our property community and the property course, where you can get rapidly from player 1 all the way through to player 4. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Follow us if you like this sort of stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.